Growing up, Ted was just an incredible inspiration in my life. From the time, as long as I can remember, he just had this calm spirit and peace about him. Ted is the middle brother. I'm the oldest. We've got one younger than that. We were all born within 3 years' time. So I'll pray for my mother.
I don't need any help.
And it was just amazing. Now, my younger brother and I, we all got along just great, but my younger brother and I would tend to fight a little bit, as brothers do. But Ted, it was just amazing. You know, you could not fight with him. You know, if you got mad and punched him or hit him, he'd go, well, if you need to hit me, go ahead. Man, how do you be with that? You know? It's just amazing. And he just continued to be this inspiration in my life, all through my life. No matter where I was in the country or what we were doing, I knew I could always call Ted. And he'd help me get centered again and help get me back on track. So I'm just so excited about having him here today. So without any further ado, my brother, Ted Senf.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you. Wow. We're going to talk about radical gratitude. But before we get started, it seems that
He told you to say that, didn't he?
this mother hadn't heard Jimmy upstairs, and usually he's already up getting ready for school, but she hadn't heard him. So she called up, didn't hear anything, went on with her morning routine. Called up again, still didn't hear anything. So now she's kind of concerned. She goes up and she knocks on Jimmy's door, and she doesn't hear anything again. So she opens the door, goes in, and there's Jimmy laying in bed with the blankets over his face. She said, Jimmy, you're 30 minutes late getting up for school. He doesn't. He just kind of puts his hand up and says, go away. I said, Jimmy, you've got to go to school. He said, I don't want to go to school. So the mother goes over and sits on the bed and tries to console him. Says, well, Jimmy, you have to go to school. He says, no, I don't want to go to school. He said, the teachers all think I'm stupid, and the kids all make fun of me. I said, well, Jimmy, you've got to go to school. He said, well, give me one good reason why I have to go to school. He said, I'll give you two good reasons. You're 49 years old and you're the principal. Now get up. Go to school. Ever had a morning like that? You know? We're going to talk about radical gratitude, and we're going to tie in that a little bit, because I'll guarantee you the day that Jimmy became a principal, he was one happy guy. Thrilled. And it probably didn't take too much longer down the road for that to change. You know? Isn't it funny how fleeting gratitude can be? How fleeting gratitude can be. There's a, let's see, did I do that right, Tony? There we go. All right. Gratitude is the most transformative force in the cosmos. Sarah Brand Brethnick. The most transformative force in the cosmos. What if I could tap into that on a daily basis? Now, one of the reasons I think gratitude is one of the most transformative forces in the cosmos is because it is a facet of love, and that's what the cosmos is. It's love. So you find any entryway into the truth and the reality of what the universe is, you're there. You are there. And what I want to suggest to you, what I'm going to share with you in the next few minutes, is probably there are countless pathways to the top of the mountain, aren't there? But this is almost the express lane. That's what I want to suggest to you. Express lane to the top of the mountain. Okay? Radical gratitude. And it's 3 stages. What we're going to start with is something I call random gratitude. And because during this earthly experience, we all have random gratitude. It always comes from an external source, and it's usually unexpected. It's something that we're pleased that it happened. And naturally, what? We're grateful. Get a new job promotion, get a new car, someone gives you a compliment, whatever it is, we're instantaneously grateful. Just like Jimmy was when he became a principal. But there's a problem with random gratitude. It's wonderful and it's a good thing, but it's a fleeting thing. Because we don't keep our attention on it and we don't cultivate the gratitude that we feel in the moment. Read a wonderful line in a book called The Alchemist, and it was one, sometimes you just read one line and it just takes you to a different level of understanding about a particular topic, and that's what this one line did. And what he said in the book was, a blessing ignored becomes a curse. Wow. How about that? A blessing ignored doesn't just go away, it becomes a curse. Have you ever had that happen? I think we all have had that experience, haven't we? We have a job that at one time was a blessing. You know? You know, there's a lot of people in America that get up every day and go into a curse. 5 days a week, minimum 40 hours a week, they spend at a curse. How wearing is that? I'll tell you something even tougher. Go home every day to a curse. Hey, curse, I'm home. How was your day? Wow. Ever done that? Yeah, come on. Absolutely. Random gratitude is event-driven. It always comes from an external source. It's a wonderful thing, but it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning of the pathway. And if we're not careful, we can just stay there in that first step of random gratitude, having these ups and downs. And of course, the ego loves you to stay stuck in random gratitude because it keeps you hooked on the external, doesn't it? Anything that gives you a feeling of well-being from an external source always has a sense of impermanence to it. Unless you can attach it to a spiritual sense of gratitude. Of course, the ego loves that. You know, the ego loves to keep you mired in the matrix, if you would. You know, I heard Wapnick say one time, the ego doesn't care if your team wins or loses, it just cares that you care. It loves when you get high when they win, and because he knows you're going to get low when they lose. And guess what? Sooner or later, they're going to lose. Ego loves it. Loves it. Get thrilled with what's going on around you, because it will pull you down eventually. Unless you can be grateful for all that is. All that is. And that is a possibility. It is a possibility. Let's go to the next step, intentional gratitude. Now this, instead of being event-driven, is choice-driven. You choose to be grateful. You choose to be grateful. You make it a conscious choice on a daily basis. Now here's a great way to get out of bed in the morning. You know how most people get out of bed in the morning? When they wake up, before they're even out of bed, if you will, and they've even put a foot on the floor, you know what they're thinking about? All the things they have to do that day. It just starts running through their head. This laundry list of must-get-dones. Must-get-dones. And they dwell on it throughout the day and throughout the morning. And if you do that long enough, there's a point where you kind of cease being a human being, you kind of become a human doing. Because that's what human doings are. They're all about doing things. You know? And by the time they brush their teeth, they've done a half a day's work and they're totally wore out. Totally wore out. Now they're on their way to work, but they're already at work because they're already thinking about what they have to do when they get to work. Now the funny thing about a human doing is they can't stay centered in one place very long. So when they're at work, they're thinking about what they got to do when they get home. You know? And when they're at home, they're thinking about stuff they have to do tomorrow. And it's just always pulling them out of this precious thing called what? The moment. Which is the only place you can truly experience gratefulness. The moment. The moment. So what if I made a conscious choice when I woke up in the morning, instead of thinking about all the things I had to do, I made a conscious choice to wake up a different way. Father, I wake today with miracles correcting my perception of all things. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and I will be glad in it. And I will be grateful for all that is. And what if I took the time between waking up and the time it took me to brush my teeth, just going over all the things I could be grateful for in any given moment? What a way to start a day. And when you do that, you'll be amazed at the things that will come into your mind to be grateful for.